Hi everyone, I'm Katie. I wanted to do a quick question and answer video about the school that my son attends, which is the K-12 virtual public school here in Massachusetts. So, a little bit of background. We started schooling my son when he was in kindergarten, which was his first year homeschool, and we basically used a traditional workbook style method. It was great for his age, and for first grade, I wanted to make sure that I chose something that would give a little bit more structure, guided me more, didn't break the bank, and I also want to make sure he got what he needed. So then I came across the virtual public school here in Massachusetts, and I enrolled him for first grade, which is great because that was the first year the school was a actual public school here. And so we've done that since first grade. So we've done first grade, second grade, and third grade. We are coming back for fourth grade, and hopefully my 5-year-old who will be going to kindergarten will be joining us. So the biggest question I get about a virtual school is, what is it? So people think I just homeschool, which, okay, we school at home, but we don't homeschool. It's actually a school, it's public. So it's ran by K-12. A lot of times there's state administrators instead. They're not necessarily K-12 employees, but the teachers and the curriculum are all K-12. Another great thing, it's free, which is great because it doesn't break the bank, which is one of my things I was trying to avoid. The school provides you with teachers. So the teachers are there to help and assist when you have problems. They help you with any type of teaching methods, anything you need help with. They also provide Class Connects. So these are like live sessions that the child has with their teacher. They typically have a couple a week. This past year we actually had 6 for my son a week with his homeroom teacher. So they did things like, English language arts lessons. They did math, they did history, and they did science. So that actually helped take over some of the lessons for me during the week where I didn't have to do as much teaching as the learning coach. Now, you as the parent or whoever is teaching the child is called the learning coach. You're there to actually help them and do their lessons day to day, make sure they're on target, make sure they're you're teaching them, making sure they're doing all the work every day, which is great. And then so the teachers help support you. There's also a family engagement coordinator who, is there to answer any other questions, such as, if you need help with something specific, if you have any other questions. I mean, they're there to help you with just about anything. And then the curriculum. So K-12 sends you so much curriculum. Our first year, we actually had like 4 boxes of curriculum. Plus, if you qualify for like free and reduced lunch, they will send you a computer and a printer. So our first year, we actually had like 7 boxes total that came in the mail within 2 days. So there's always a lot of curriculum. So they're beautiful workbooks and textbooks and art supplies and science and history stuff, math and all the different manipulatives for math. And at the end of the year, you send a lot of it back, a lot of the reusable stuff. So any textbooks and manipulatives are sent back. Workbooks you tend to keep because you write in them. So the curriculum is great. So half of it is online, half of it isn't. As the kid gets older, they do a lot more online than offline. But right now, I only have experience with the lower grades. I have found that the curriculum is pretty flexible. I have been able to, do lessons online with my child, and I can say, okay, we don't need to do all these projects, or he's grasping this. I can skip the optional curriculum and the optional lessons and stuff like that. So you can kind of move things around and, maybe you do all your art projects on the weekend or all your science projects on the weekend, or you pick one day a week where you do all your science. Also, the school is flexible by if you have a problem or you have something that comes up, such as illness or any deaths in the family, you talk to the school and they're able to help and, rearrange things for you. you just have to keep in touch with them. So another big question I get about schooling my child at home, because most people think it's homeschool, and when it's really not, is socializing. So one, my children get a lot of socialization because they have class connects. So there are so many opportunities during the week for my child to socialize. And last past year, just an example, he had 6 classes a week with his homeroom. And it's not just the teacher talking during these class connects. It's also the kids interacting with the teacher, kids interacting with each other. They read aloud to each other, they answer questions with each other. They do show and share with each other. They might play games some days. It really depends on their grade and, you know, what they're working on at that time. But there's so many opportunities during the week for my child to um, socialize with his classroom peers and his teacher. Then my son also receives special education. That's kind of a special, it's something that I can do a video about later, but he also receives extra time in small groups with his special education teacher. And then also the school does a lot of field trips. So every year they do beginning of the year picnics where they have a couple places throughout the whole state where you can meet up with teachers and administration. And they have, you bring your own lunch and they have games and activities for the kids to do. They can meet and talk with their teachers and peers. And I mean, the kids, there's all different grades there. They range from kindergarten to 12th grade. So the kids aren't just socializing with kids their own age, they're socializing with ages, like all ages. All 3 of my children have been to all the field trips together. I never just bring my son. My daughters, when they were younger, my youngest was like almost 2 years old at the time, and the other was 3. They have been to every field trip. They talk to all the administration. They talk to all the teachers. They've been able to engage and play at all the school picnics and all the field trips. So they've gotten to have a good socialization from an early age. And so they do field trips to like the museum, the zoo. They do like historical sites such as like Sturbridge Village and Plymouth Village, which is great. And then also for socialization, your kid can do their own things. A lot of people have their kids in sports and swimming and dance and gymnastics. So there's so many different opportunities for your kid to socialize that doesn't involve being in a classroom all day, which is wonderful. So another big question I get is, what's a typical day like? Well, when you have 3 kids and you're schooling at home, there's really no typical day. But, you know, there is more structure to my day than if I was doing a regular traditional homeschool. So he has, certain courses he needs to complete every day. It's always important to work on English language arts every day, to work on math. History and science kind of swap out throughout the week, and art as well. My son this past year took Latin as well, so he did that daily. That was kind of a course he did on his own. We always, for 3rd grade, so he woke up in the morning, had his breakfast, and then he was able to hop on and, complete his Latin lesson for the day. And then he would do his class connects. So Monday through Thursday, he had a pretty good regular routine for class connects. He hopped on at 9 o'clock on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, he had a 10 o'clock class as well. The class connects are usually kept very small. So in 3rd grade, they were split up, and my son's class connect group, there may be no more than 15 kids on ever. So, I mean, it was, pretty small, and, he would complete those in the morning, and then we'd have a little bit of, he would go and do like spelling or vocabulary work, which is more independent work for him at this age. And we'd have lunch, and then he would do whatever other courses he needed to complete in the afternoon. So, and also he had his special education. So, those would fall into the afternoon a lot of times or on a Friday. But majority of the time, our Fridays were left open to do, extra work, catch up on curriculum, or whatever he had to do. So really, our day was never really consistent besides uh, his Class Connect schedule. And, things came up in daily life. The kids got sick, I actually went to school full time this past year, actually the past 3 years. And, things changed, but we were, it was always flexible for us. So we could always, if we missed the Class Connect because there was an appointment or something, he could watch it in the evening, which is great. He just had to attend at least 80% live. So the last question I typically get is, why did I choose to school through K-12 virtual public school? Well, first, it's free. Also, if my kids decide to go through this school through 12th grade, they'll earn a diploma. Also, I have teachers who are there to support me. It's got a beautiful curriculum. Then we have field trips. And it's not really missing anything from my checklist for schooling my children at home. So overall, it's the best for my family and my kids. I hope that I have answered some of the questions that you might have today, and hopefully you can join me in August. I'm hoping to do an unboxing of my son's 4th grade curriculum and hopefully my daughter's kindergarten curriculum. And if you have any other questions that you would like answered for going to a K-12 virtual public school in Massachusetts, please leave comments below and I will possibly make another video. Thank you. Bye.